And I believe we are live.
So,
So here we go. Hello, everybody. Oh, got it. Hi, everybody. It's Angie Atkinson, and I'm here with the lovely and talented Lise Colucci. Lise, welcome back.
thank you.
Oh, always my pleasure to have
Yeah.
you. And we just, there we go. Got rid of my sound in my ears because I heard myself talking. Forgot to mute the thing. All right. So as we're getting started, we are kind of, I guess the chat is not going yet. So we will say hello. Welcome.
Are we up? It looks like it's black.
Thanks. Oh, you don't see it?
There we are. I see us now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Okay, cool. Oh, now we've got 6 on. Hey, everybody. How you doing? So today we're going to talk about, hold on for those who just got here. This is Lise Colucci with me, lovely and talented. Am I pointing the right direction? I think so.
That's the wrong direction, but I can, like, if you go all the way back around, I'm over here.
Lovely and talented. Okay. Hey, Deborah. Okay, so we are going to talk today about what you can do or what causes a narcissist to kind of hit the road. What makes them go away? It's a fun one, right? Because sometimes we don't want them to go away because we're still quite toxic. Hello, Jack, one of our mod squatters. But sometimes we need to make them go away or leave us alone for a while, right? Even if we're still in the same house. So, Lise, tell me, what would you say is your top way to make a narcissist go away?
Well, I'll start with saying that everybody's different and you know the narcissist in your life best. So this may or may not apply to a particular narcissist. For the one in my life, either completely ignoring them, not replying, not responding, they get bored and go away and use other people for supply, or I have had to, quote, burn the bridge, where you figure out, well, I had to figure out the one thing that would make the narcissist feel unstable, unsafe around me, which would be information that I held. And that information being potentially leaked somewhere else. Not that I'm like, gonna blackmail you, I'm gonna leak information. It was more like, well, what am I supposed to do? I know this about you. And just bringing up, I can't be specific with this.
Is it like, I know that you committed this act, and so
yes, I know that you
around me.
Right. I know you steal from work. Let's just say that. Like, and then that's not, but see here, I don't want it to sound like it's threatening or it wasn't like that. It was during a Hoover, and them being very, what's the word? When the Hoovers weren't working and going the way they wanted the Hoovers to work. Because see, they did the whole let's be friends thing. And by being friends, that mean I was supposed to do errands for them while they did whatever they want in their life. Because, narcissist and friends, just talked about that like last week. And I knew that I needed to break this. And I said, why would I want to do anything for you? And they said, well, as long as we're friendly with each other, then, and you don't burn the bridge, then you'll always have me in your life. Like as if that's a glorious and grand thing. But at the time when you're trauma bonded, yes, it is, right? And I said, no, I need this to go away because I know what's going to happen. He's going to keep cycling. He's going to hang on and keep using me. And so I think I said something like, why would I want that? You're so toxic or something. And then it flipped to, are you crazy? Do I have to call the authorities? Is something the matter with you? Are you okay? You seem psychologically not okay. And I said, I'm great. And then, I'm not the one who I'm going to say steals from work. That wasn't the thing. I'm not the one who steals from work.
Right.
And they're like, crap, she has info on me. And now you see in some situations that can be a threat and they can become scary. So don't do that if you got a scary. I had a non-scary. I had one that was such a communal in some ways and such a covert that needed everyone to believe they were Mr. Nice Guy. And so, that's why. So, so I think I guess my point is, you know who you're dealing with in the sense of what will work to cut the ties, make them not trust you anymore as the person that they can lean on and go to. And, use.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's a really good point that you make. I remember with my ex, he had done certain things in our relationship. And I literally said, stay away from me, or I will tell your family these things that you did.
Right.
Not to take him away from our shared child, but just we're not together anymore. Sign the papers or whatever. Yeah. That's because it was, similar. Really good point.
Right.
Really
Yeah.
good point.
And for some, that would make it a threat that was to the point where then they could get scary. So you got to be careful who you're dealing with and know that. Don't go into the battle. The point wasn't to go into battle. My point was I knew that if I said this one thing, he'd never forgive me. Let's put it that way. So I said the unforgivable.
You said the unforgivable burned bridge. I
That
love
took
that.
a long time to get there, but yes.
No, I mean, it's really true though.
Yeah.
And it's a really valid way. Yes, absolutely. I love it. So another thing that I have found to be, I mean, and you kind of talked about this a little bit, but anytime you take away narcissistic supply, you're starving them, you're choking them in a way. It's like you're taking away the air or the blood. You know what I mean? And so I think that you can do that by simply going away from them, or even just gray rocking.
Oh yeah.
Right. So for those of you who don't know, gray rock is a sort of coping mechanism. It's something that was first published by someone named Skylar, who I think it was 180.com was the blog. I think you can still find it on 180.com. Anyway, the original story goes that she was in a bar and she had just like broken up with somebody or something, and some random stranger, kind of explained to her, well, this is what you do, and then didn't name it gray rock, just basically said, act like you don't care, act like nothing they say is affecting you, and sort of has been refined over the years, right? But as she published it, I mean, it became this entire, our whole industry uses this tactic now, and basically all you do is, please insult me, please. We're gonna demonstrate.
I don't know what there is to insult.
Okay.
You're
say
so
I'm a
stupid.
big. Say
I don't know
big
what
stupid
there is
nose.
to insult because you're so stupid anyway.
Oh, hold on. Wait, start over. Right? I laughed.
I know, right? It's kind of ridiculous that I would say that to Angie, but
say it. Mm-hmm.
I do not know what there is to even insult because you're so stupid you wouldn't get it.
Oh, that's very interesting. Thanks. Don't say the thanks, but you really can. Literally, don't react. I mean, at least with, obviously.
Now react like you would, like, show the difference maybe. Like,
okay.
God, Angie, you're so stupid. You don't even get it when I insult you.
Why would you say that?
Well, because you are. Oh, look at you. Now you're going to play pathetic. You see what happens? You engage in it and it creates the dynamo of supply.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That was really good. Yeah, that's exactly right. And that kind of thing, and obviously we don't hate each other. We love each other. So
no, that's hard to say with a straight face.
Right. That's why I laugh so many times. But really though, we've all been there and we've all experienced that sort of ongoing, and just what happened there. And when I said, oh, that's very interesting, was there anything left to say? Yeah, they could keep insulting me, and they did.
And I would have kept insulting her, and I could have kept it going, but
But the point is
I couldn't bait her. You see what I did the second time was I
unbaitable.
baited her back into reacting to me more and more and more and more.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you've never done this to them before and you start this today, again, I want to throw in here, do not do this if you have a violent narcissist.
No.
Only if you have one who's not going to physically come at you. Okay. If you have one that's going to physically come at you, I have other ideas for you. And one of them is get out quick. Okay. I want everyone to be safe in their home, mentally and physically. Don't misunderstand. But my point is not any of that. My point is this. If you are in a situation where you can do this, they will be shocked. They will not know what to do. The first time you do it, they might go, is something wrong? Are you okay? Like, yeah, I'm fine. What do you mean? Practice your bored look in the mirror. Okay. Some people just look like expressionless. I like to look bored.
I liked to look like I am working on myself.
Of course. So speak more on that.
Like I am holding my tongue on purpose because it's always been my fault.
Right.
And even though inside I'm like, whatever, you're such a baby, you're just going to keep rambling on and on about this thing if I don't just. And I know that I'm in control of my own responses that way.
Right.
And yes,
Obviously we can't control them. Go ahead, Lisa.
oh, I might make a face like, okay. Like, like in other words, I hear you. Yes, I am that stupid or whatever. Not agreeing.
You can say that.
You could say that. You could.
Yeah.
The point is, what's going on the inside when you gray rock, and this isn't a gray rock video, but what's going on the inside isn't being shown on the outside. In the inside, you're thinking, okay, they're gaslighting me now. Okay,
yes.
I need to calm down and not engage. I don't want to feed them supply. Okay, I know that I'm not stupid, but go ahead. Say words, you big baby, in your head.
Yes.
You're not taking in what they're putting out. You're
Right.
handing it back in the form of, you're putting on a mask in a sense. And sadly, you can't live like that forever, but it
works for a while.
It works for a while, and it keeps you from engaging, which then keeps your cortisol a little bit lower and your,
Yes. Yes.
You feel
and the first few times, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
First few times I did it, I felt incredibly powerful. So FYI, you will not, it'll be shocking if you haven't done it before. Those of you who are in the chat, if you've done it, how did it work for you? Hey, Chris, how did it work for you when you played the game with them? Basically, that's what this is sadly. It's a way of playing back, because, yeah. Okay. So with
another thing that kind of comes out of that afterward, like once you get the gray rock down, they may not leave. They'll feel the disengagement. Right. They're going to have their own response to it. They'll either try and pull it out of you, or if you got one like I had, they liked it because it meant I was being quiet.
Oh, mine was not like that.
But then I had to get boring. Then I switched it to being so boring, and not only boring, but stop accommodating them, stop pleasing them, stop appeasing them, just stop supply. Make the relationship like two separate adults.
Yeah. Now, if you are working on leaving, okay, then you may want to continue some of the supply.
Right.
And what I mean is you want to let them think that everything's fine. And so, but in the process of leaving, this is also going to ironically train them a little bit on how to deal with you, which will be great if you have kids together. Right. But what you do is you start off with the gray rock, like we're talking about now. I wanted to mention something that I didn't mention earlier, because Elise reminded me that, and that was why I was talking about looking bored. The original purpose of gray rock was to be as boring as you could, like a gray rock, that's why the name came, so that you would not give supply through your responses and your behavior. And then ideally they would go off and find different supply.
Exactly. Because the point is the point of this video is, how do you get them to be bored of you and go away? Yeah.
Yeah. Stop bothering you.
Yeah. Not to manipulate a situation or try and control a situation to make it better, because you can't. So, yeah. Right.
But in that, just a side note for those who are still dealing, what you do in order to make them be nice to you as you're on your way out, obviously, hopefully, or in certain times, because I want to reiterate what Lisa said, where it is not something you can do for your lifetime. Okay. Don't think that this is going to fix it forever. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting, and it makes you feel inauthentic and fake and
kind of dead inside. Yeah.
You have to shut off your emotions to be able to take insults in your face. Not just insults, gaslighting. That's the worst. Insults, we can go sticks and stones, but
to a point.
A point. But I mean, when someone's telling you that you're the one who's caused a problem, and they twist it around to where you're almost believing it, it's gray rock in those situations is painful. So, because you have to just be quiet and be like, okay, that's how it happened, whatever.
Yeah. And in that same moment, you must also know that they're full of shit.
Exactly. And you know what's going on when that's happening. And I want to just real quick say, Maricela, I see your comment, and I'll try to remember to get to it as soon as we do questions. There was a question, and Jack pointed it out. So.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that, I was going to talk about. Okay. So with gaslighting, as you were mentioning, it also can be insulting, depending. It can be direct insults. It usually involves that. Like, you never do anything. All you do is sit on your and do whatever, or, oh, you're always so busy with those kids, you don't have any time for me, or whatever it happens to be, right? And so you could look at sometimes what they say, maybe there's just a tiny bit of truth to some of it, right? Like, Yeah, I'm busy because I'm working and I'm doing all this extra stuff. Of course, I want to spend some free time with the kids. Of course I do. Well, you're taking away from me, right? Okay. So the logic is they take that little bit of something that's true and then they spin it, make it bigger than it is. And then you start to question yourself. You're doubting your own reality, yada, yada. The whole point is just, oh, and one more point, they look for those things that they know will hurt you the most to poke it at you about. So that's why if someone that you have lived with, or you do live with, like your parent or your spouse or whatever, they will hurt you more than anyone else because they know more things about you and they know your triggers better. Sometimes they install the triggers, right?
Oh, they all install them in some way. And
Right.
like they may install them later in your life, but at some point they're the ones creating the button.
Creating the wound that causes the trigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, and yes, creating the button, exactly. They push the buttons because they know where they are. Okay. Other people can gaslight you too, but those people gaslight you worse than like your boss, for example. Okay. Well, maybe not worse, but more effectively in some ways. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They find your soft spots. Okay, wait, I was saying that for a reason, because as Lee said, right now we are talking about we're done with them. So we're going to talk about moving forward as how to make them stop obsessing over you, because they do obsess over us when we leave, if we leave, how to make them stop being concerned about you. And I really think the burn the bridge thing is excellent. The gray rock thing is more about coping as you're trying to get them to leave. And it can
like
actually
low
make
contact, right? Like if you're low contact.
low contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you have kids, you unfortunately can't always go no contact, stuff like that. Okay. Okay. What's another way for you, Lisa, that you would lose a narcissist?
Being frumpy, not showing off your assets or your positive side of yourself, being depressive, acting, being an energy suck rather than an energy give to
Right.
to them, needing from them, needing their, knowing that you're doing it. Like if you truly and really need the relationship, it's not, this isn't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about on purpose.
Yes.
They like say they're hoovering you and they show up somewhere
Mm-hmm.
and instead of like trying to look cute, like, oh, I'm doing great, you just like are like, whatever. And you just let them think that, and then they're like, ha ha, ha, and then they walk off. If you look cute and like I've got it all together, a lot of them will want more from you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And they will get supply, believe me, they will get supply out of seeing you looking like you're,
Oh,
down
of
and
course,
out,
they're going
right?
to get supply either way. That's the problem.
Right.
That's their whole,
Right.
they are always filtering like siphoning from others. So
It's really, yeah, energy vampires for real. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And that's a really good point. I think another one we could look at is being the center of attention. If you've ever been with a narcissist, and I'll just quick example. My ex would be somewhere doing something and nobody would be talking to him. He would be mad. And so then he would like nudge me or put his hand on my arm and look at me like I was taking too much because people
of
were
his attention. Yeah.
Yes, they belong to him. Right. So in my ON, I made that word, that original narcissist, the one that gave birth to me and everything. Similar thing. Didn't like if I was the center of attention.
Oh,
so
no. Yeah.
Right.
Especially mothers. Yeah.
So anytime you can be the center of attention, if you want to lose a narcissist, then that's the time you get all dolled up or dressed up or whatever.
Right.
Go out of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. But exactly. It can be one or the other. It really depends on the situation. And
Yes.
there's a question about Amy is saying, act like you're a train wreck. I wouldn't say a train wreck, more like a boring frump.
Yes.
Because if you're a train wreck, then they're like, oh, what's the matter? Or they gloat.
Hero mode, rescue mode.
It's more just like they look at you and go, what was I thinking? That's
yes.
Yeah. What was I? Ew. What was I thinking? I could get better.
And to get to that point, you must be really strong.
You must be strong. You must be like getting through those trauma bonds, and to want them to go away. We're at a place where we really want them to go away. Yeah.
Well, here's a quick example about that, Lisa. You were just telling me about an exercise you did with one of your groups. Tell them about it a little bit, the cord thing.
We did a cord cutting exercise that was, it was pretty powerful, I think, for people. And for me. Even just facilitating it was like, oh, I feel good. Bye.
Yeah, the energy was, you said,
the energy
really
was really good. And I think that when you get to that place, my dog, she's at the door, like trying to tell me, and I'm like, no, I'm ignoring you. Sorry.
Are you good?
No, she's being really bad. Don't do that.
Yeah. You need to get it? Okay.
No, I will if she keeps going.
No worries. Okay.
Yeah. So cord cutting. What did you want me to say about it?
Well, maybe just explain how so I've used this, and I did a cord cutting thing once, but in a video, but I've used similar things for like the weekends I do with clients okay. So, but it's basically a sort of almost a ritual to let go of.
Yeah.
I think you said it was a meditation.
It was a meditation and a visualization, really, more than a
meditation. Just kind of explain it to the way you explained to me. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, just that we did a visualization of being able to feel the connection and where it is in your body to the toxic person or toxic energy or whatever it is you want to cut. And then visualizing cutting the cord between the two. But I mean, it's more than that. It was kind of tailored for the people in the room. So, yeah.
As you always do with your coach.
And pretty much the feedback was everyone slept through the night that night, which was like, what? Because you know how it is with sleep after narcissistic problems in your life. So, yeah, that was good. And I will try and do a video, like a more general one at some point.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And if you want to, anyone who's here right now, if you're interested in getting in on that kind of stuff, it's so cheap that I am almost offended that she sells it for so little.
Offending you.
I mean, what did you tell me? It's like around $15 a week, right?
Yeah, it's 50. Yeah, 60 a month, which comes to for 4 weeks, which is 15 a week. And you can. So if you want to join group and you have a financial need that is, such that you'll need to go week to week, just email me. We can work that out. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe Jack or Simrain or Chris will put Lisa's email in it's coachlisa@gmail.com, right?
Yeah. And then since we're on this topic, before we switch topics, somebody here, I'm looking for the post. Somebody had a question, and I'm just going to say the question, and I'm so sorry I don't have your name because I can't scroll back that fast. Oh, here we go. It's Amy. Being an empath, you want to fix, oh no, that's not it. Something about wanting to work on how to be a healthier empath. And I am thinking of starting a group just for that, like a once a week thing that is ways to learn to be a strong, and when we are strong, but learn to embody your strength.
And protect yourself.
And protect yourself and be a more self-aware of the way empathy works in you so that you can stay safe and be happy.
I know you would be great at that. And I think that's, anyway, but for those who want to go into the regular group, just heads up real quick. She does 3 sessions a week.
3 sessions a week, yeah.
For the same price. You can go to all if you want to.
Yeah.
Same. Okay, putting it out there.
Okay.
Oh, and that little, what's it called? The texting group, the DM.
Oh yeah, there's a chat group and it's on Facebook Messenger right now. We're working on another place.
Moving it to an app. Yeah. Really awesome. Okay. Sweet. Okay, we're going down the hill. All right. Anyway, you got another question? I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I just saw that there was a whole discussion on it, and I thought, and as you were saying that, I'm like, ooh, that is something that I think needs its own space. It needs to be away from talk about narcissistic abuse in general, and of course, it's in there, but it needs, and we need like empowered people to come and share what it is they want to work on.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing I think that everyone should understand and be aware of. Like, well, anyway, I'm going to move on, but I want you, if you're interested, to get in touch with Lisa. Also, you can, I think it's queenbeing.com/groups with an S. You can also get redirected right to the sign up page, I think, from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That or group coaching, one or the other. Yeah.
Yes. All right, everybody, we are jumping in the chat, I think, right now. So if you would put, we're going to go through, Lisa, you start at the bottom, I'll start at the top. We're going to go through all what we have here, but we've just got a few minutes left. So if you would hashtag question for us, okay? I'm going to start at the top.
Yeah.
All right.
If we missed you in the beginning, restate your question, please. And
the
hashtag
bottom. Question.
We're going back and forth.
Yeah. All right. Lisa, do you have one for us?
No, I didn't because I was listening.
I'm looking right now. All right. So
Love
we
it.
have, oh, UNA finally got a chat box. Hey, Peggy, I'm glad you got one. I didn't know you didn't have one. Um, okay. Let's see here. Okay. Hey, Tanya. Feel free to interrupt me if I don't get a question before you, Lise.
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. Let's see here.
Hey, Tanya. Yeah.
Do you have a question? Okay. Bridget says, when I don't want to give the ex narcissist attention or supply, my ex, or when I didn't, I guess my ex would throw a tantrum. Yep. He would literally start crying and play the victim. She said, it annoys me, but I'm a year and a half, no contact. Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. That's amazing. Everybody. Applause.
Yay! Sorry, I'm reading at the same time. I'm
You're
hearing
fine.
it.
You're
And I'm
fine.
like, you should be saying yay, Lise. Yay!
Well, while you're looking, I just want to say this really quick. The tantrum is real. Some of them don't cry. Some of them complain or nag or cut you down. You know what I mean? And so anytime, yeah, that's real. I've been there.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been there? Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. You got a question for us?
Yes, Maricela Torres. I said I would come back to you, and I am. It says, how come I'm attracted to these people? That is a big question, right?
A good question, though. Can I talk?
Yes, go.
Okay, real quick.
Yes.
What?
I said yes.
Okay. Number one, you're probably trauma bonded to that person initially, but that's not why you're attracted to these people, right? That's why you would be stuck on one. Okay. Number two, you grew up in a way, maybe, I'd say 90% of us grew up in such a way that feels kind of normal to us. Not, and you're going, but my ex is nothing like my, look deeper.
Yeah.
Sometimes your ex is more like my mother and my ex-husband were completely different people, totally on opposite ends of the spectrum, but they were the same underneath.
And the patterning of how they treat you is the same.
Correct.
Part you're looking at. Yeah.
And that's really what it is. The other, go ahead.
I'm adding as you go. She just said her brother is a narcissist. Yeah.
Is her brother is a narcissist. Okay, well, that's probably, I'm going to guess, and I could be wrong, that maybe that came from somewhere else in the family.
Probably.
I don't know. Okay. Unless your brother's famous or something. It almost, or has like a really high paying job, something like that. Probably related to someone else in the family, but it's a generational curse. Okay. We're here to break it, by the way, everybody. Anyway. Okay. The other reason you might be attracted to a narcissist in general is because in the beginning they love bomb and everybody feels good about that. Regular healthy people don't do that as much. I mean, certainly regular healthy people have a honeymoon period, right? But then when that's over, they don't start insulting you. They start farting around you. Okay. Exactly. There's a difference.
Can we put that on a t-shirt?
I think we should. Anyway,
healthy people don't insult you. They just fart around you.
That's right. When they get comfortable, right? Because what a narcissist does when they get comfortable is they start to look at you a little closer and like, I don't like this and this and this. And they start telling you all about it. Okay. Well, they started to notice you were human. The healthier people, they knew you were human to begin with. They knew you farted. They just, didn't hear you fart at the beginning.
Right. And they're not going to insult you for it. Yeah. Like
exactly. Right. Yeah. But the love bombing feels really, really good.
Yeah.
And okay, we had somebody in group yesterday saying, I had this problem in my life. I didn't, it was really expensive. And my new boyfriend didn't offer to financially help me with it. And it wasn't like I would have taken it if he had offered to financially help me. But why didn't he offer to financially help me?
Right.
Okay. Now, here's the thing, because they'd only been dating a few weeks and they'd only seen each other a few times.
Right.
That would have been a little bit, I mean, you could be generous.
Yeah. Right.
Right. And also, I personally said and think that in that case, that guy was probably like, well, if I do offer, maybe she'll think that I'm trying to be too aggressive, or maybe she'll think that I don't think she can afford it or whatever. And I don't want to be a sexist.
Right. There's, I'm staying out of, I'm letting her be her. I'm letting her have her life. But yeah.
Exactly. Like maybe if she said, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I can afford it. Maybe that would be different. But again, you don't necessarily in a healthy new dating relationship, not even officially committed, you're not going to go to that level of, necessarily offering $1,000 to somebody to take care or whatever.
No, that would be, yeah.
Right. So I think my point is the narcissist will jump in with both feet day 2 or day 1 or 15 minutes in, and they might declare their love for you that on the first date sometimes, or the 3 weeks in or whatever. And a healthier person is going to actually get to know you first, because what the narcissist loves is the version of you that they create in their own minds. And when that
yes, the version of you that
occurs,
they need. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yes, then they push that pedestal right over. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right, Lisa, do you want
So then the other side of that, then we looked at what we're seeing in them, and it is what we have learned to do in ourselves. So if you're a person that doesn't have a lot of boundaries in your life, then you don't know how to place boundaries, so you can't tell when people are crossing your boundaries.
right?
It's not
People
your
pleasing
fault.
and
Nothing's
stuff.
wrong with you. You just need to learn to work your boundaries a little bit and learn what it is that you're comfortable with, and that it's okay to say yes and no to things.
Yes,
Why are you attracted? Why are you attracting or attracted to them? Because they offer what it is you need, because they're picking up with their narcissistic radar your vulnerabilities, your needs, your where you hurt, where you've suffered, where you are insecure about yourself, and they in the beginning they fill it. They feed you that. It's more than love bombing, it's grooming. And so they've groomed you quickly. And if you are a person that has not learned to build yourself up, have friends around you that support you, like if you're a person that is on the more vulnerable end of things, you're going to be attracted to that. Who wouldn't? Because you
right.
think, oh, this one's nice. This one is nothing like Angie said. They're nothing like my other one. They're nothing like the narcissist, but that's how coverts work.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Or vice versa if you had a covert,
Right, right,
like
exactly.
parent, for
Like,
example.
whoa, they're
Yeah.
so full of charm. And look, they just swoop me right into their world. They put me up on the
Mhm.
pedestal with them. Narcissists wouldn't do that, would they? Oh, yes, they
Right,
would.
right.
The higher they put you up, the farther you fall. And that's what that
Yeah,
gives them supply when you fall. So,
yeah. I had one client who had the first one was a self-loathing one, you know,
oh, yeah.
and the second one was, which was a covert, the second one was more grandiose. And so it took them like a couple of years, I think, to really understand what was happening because
Mm-hmm.
it was the cognitive
So
dissonance
different.
of, right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really good point. Yeah. And
Yeah.
also I wanted to add people pleasing. We by
People
nature, when we've
pleasing.
been,
Yep.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us are taught that love comes when you make mom or dad or whoever happy. And
Mm-hmm.
so you almost, without even knowing it, become a people pleaser, and you will literally bend over backward to make sure that someone you don't even know is happy. And
Yep.
you have to learn to put yourself and your own emotions at the forefront of something like getting into a new relationship. That
Yes.
helps.
Or even friends or even work. You've got any relationship, yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. And okay, I want to say something really quickly. There are some, I'm just thinking about a particular client. There are some people who have narcissistic behaviors who are actually like psychopaths and sociopaths.
Hmm.
So, especially in those situations, you have to be really careful. Obviously, not all of them are going to do, unalive you or whatever. Most of them won't, but some will. And just
Hmm.
don't ever put yourself at risk for
No,
anything anybody says.
no.
Always,
Evelyn Mitchell, is it Mitchell?
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
is saying something I was going to say,
Okay.
but they worded it so wonderfully that I want to read it.
All right.
The narcissist traps and characteristics are specific to their own personality,
That's right.
and they hunt for
Right.
specific victims or supply. And
Well,
that's
that's absolutely true.
exactly it. So that's why it's hard to see sometimes, and that's why it's hard to know, because they not only do they have these narcissistic red flags, they also have I'm not even going to say personality, because my understanding is they don't have a personality. They have half-baked personalities mushed together in the form of masks. But they have a
That's
core-ness about who they are. They have likes and dislikes and sort of.
they're human still,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Sort
Yeah.
of ish. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have an interesting comment from Peggy that I think is important. She says, I don't give them anything. I don't try to defend myself anymore. And I wanted to add, that's important. Don't try to defend yourself.
Mm-mm.
But she said, I have no contact. If I defend myself, I'm defending myself to a toddler. Ridiculous. It serves no purpose. That right there is the honest to God truth. It's 100% true. The fact is, they have, at the best, they're preteens emotionally. Okay. Most of them really do live in that toddler space emotionally. A lot of them do. And if you go, I have a video somewhere on here on YouTube called Four Ways Narcissists Are Like Toddlers. I'll leave it at that, but go check that out after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, do you have I have a,
Go ahead.
no. Okay. Well, I was trying to see the comment. Lost it. Do you have a question for us right now? I'm going to hashtag questions because I got about 5 more minutes.
Yeah, you only have a short time. Go ahead.
Oh, what happened? Okay, so I'm basically going to just search this page for hashtag question. And if you guys are ready to put it in there, let's give the
Oh,
there we go.
Here's one.
Go ahead.
Jack Lumen is repeating for us. Thank you, Jack. Hey, at the only way asks, how can one move it constantly? Wait, move if constantly tired and flustered due to the narcissist. How can one move? Do you mean physically move or like
get out the house?
Get out of the house.
Yeah, that's really hard. And what you're going to
hard.
have to do is, okay. Does anybody else do this? Whenever I have to do something big and hard, that sounded weird. Excuse me. Hold on. Whenever I have to do something very difficult that's going to take a lot of effort, I will have to build up to it. And so I need like a few days sometimes. For moving, I might need like a couple of months where I would decide, okay, I'm going to do this. Here we go. And then I need like to think about it and plan and read about it and watch videos about it, and do things to sort of build up my intention as well as my sort of energy, because I know exactly what you're talking about. You get in this state of inertia almost when you're right, because you're so emotionally exhausted and sometimes also physically, but emotionally and psychologically exhausted. I used to just, when I would have for any free time, I would just stare at the wall like this. That's what I would do, because I had no energy in that marriage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I couldn't bring myself to do a whole bunch of other things. So I would build up to it. Now there's better ways to that. Like you can intentionally build up to it. Maybe you decide I'm going to spring clean if you're moving away from them. I mean, if they're the if you own the home or whatever. Anyway, but I would build up to like give myself as long as I could stand. I would start doing my research. Oh, that's another thing you do during this time. If you are physically moving yourself out, start looking today, right now, as soon as this is over, go type in, however many bedroom rentals in my area or whatever, unless you're going to buy a whole place, and then start looking at them on the real estate sites, and you can see like the pictures of the place. And I think that if you can go through it, and I know this to be true, I've done it with several of my clients, you can sort of almost manifest it by starting to think about what it's going to look like, how it's going to go. And even if you're not able to pack because they'll see you packing, you can start to think about, okay, I'm going to pack this and this kind of thing. You can then start to carefully, get yourself a storage unit, and carefully, when they're not around, move one box out at a time if you need to. I'm not even kidding. And the worst that stuff, you can say, oh, I gave it to the Goodwill or whatever. That's, and then there's so many other steps. I'm sure we have a plan on queenbee.com for anybody who needs it. It's called Plan, because PLAN, Plan to Leave a Narcissist, has everything you possibly think of and need to remember. There's checklists, there's a book, like a workbook thing, so you can kind of plan your move and do it stealthily and carefully, plus plenty of tools around that. So it's queenbee.com/plan, PLAN. Please, you go.
So when I talk to people about this, like one-to-one or in group, it's about controlling what you can control. You can't control the narcissist, so you find ways to renew your own energy. And it is not easy. You're going uphill. You've got someone sabotaging you all the way. And also, find where your energy leaks are. Are you engaging with them enough? Are you engaging in conversation and that's draining? Are you staying up late because you're having arguments and they, are you falling for the good times with them and wasting your energy there? Are you thinking about it in your head when they're not home? And these are things that you can then start to make some small changes on, just to save. It's sort of like drops in the energy bucket, little at a time. As you're doing what Angie was talking about, it's sort of like you're doing for yourself, which gives energy, as long as you don't overdo. Like go slow, baby steps, unless you got a bolt, right? Then that's good. If you have to bolt, you will find the energy, because the adrenaline will pump and you're out. Yes. Right? It's the slow moves that are hard. And right. And so doing things for your life, get some exercise, eat healthy, hydrate. I mean, the basics, right? But also clean up your thoughts. Yeah. Get rid of thoughts like I will always be here. Right. you don't believe it, say to yourself, what can come next? What's next in a positive light?
Right.
What wonderful adventure will I have? What will I do next? Even if
Yeah.
you're not believing it, right? It's
Mhm.
because your thoughts are draining you. You're
Yes.
becoming your own siphon when you're in a negative space.
That's
And I get it. We've been
yes.
there, right? So it's
Yes.
not, none of this is easy. Um,
But
and that's okay. It doesn't have to be.
mhm.
No one said it, life was easy.
It's right. And it's worth it.
It
It's
is
worth
worth
it.
it. You're worth it. So you have to remember
Yes.
you're worth it to use the shower as a space of
Oh yeah.
cleansing,
Solitude and yeah.
releasing,
Mhm.
whatever it is. If you need it to cry, then cry. If you need it to think positive, then the second the shower curtain closes, the door closes, only
Mhm.
positive thoughts, period.
Yep.
And
Get
yeah,
get yourself a happy playlist.
happy
Um,
playlist. Mm-hmm.
Don't listen to any love songs for a minute. I
Uh-huh.
couldn't listen to love songs for about a year after I left, before and after. Well, a few weeks before and a year after
Mm-hmm.
I left my ex. Yeah, but
And then
it's okay.
affirmations and positive thoughts while you're doing activities because your body movements, like if you're brushing your teeth,
Hmm.
your body movements can associate with the positive thoughts so that then when you're brushing your teeth, these affirmations might run in your head instead of the negative ones. You're going to battle back and forth, right, between the dark and the light. Choose the light as much as you can, even
Yes,
though life is very dark.
it really is
Yeah.
sometimes.
In
But
that moment. I mean, even though
it,
when you're in that space, life is very dark.
yes,
Life itself is not, but when you're
you're
in that
really gonna
space,
walk.
there is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, you're really gonna walk from the dark into the light, and that's something to
Exactly.
focus on. Yeah, I
Right.
wanted to add something else. Let me think. Oh, um, when you're doing those positive affirmations, consider gratitude affirmations as well. And also when you're stressing about, I mean, you're saying, I'm so, do 10, I always tell everybody, do, and I still need to remind myself, I'm going to do it right after this. I only did one gratitude today, but 10 gratitudes and 3 things you love about yourself. And it's really hard for some people. Do it anyway. You can write it if you want. I like to write it when I can, but I don't always have time. And
Mhm.
so I won't always write it. But like when you're first starting the practice, it's good to at least once a day write it. And I don't care if you like crumble it up and throw it away when you're done. I hope you keep it in your little journal. Oh, where did it go? Here. So this is my latest bullet journal I decorated for you guys. Like, if you can see it.
Pretty.
And
I
it's pretty. Anyway, okay.
use the same
What was
one that
I?
I do too, yeah. But I don't
What was
decorate
this?
them. Mine are very formal.
Oh, I don't. I don't do formal. I mean,
I need
sometimes
some
I do, but
stickers in my life. I think
I do have stickers too. My other
I
one
need
was even.
stickers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
stickers are fun,
Uh-huh.
especially ones that sparkle. You got two.
Oh,
This
puffy
is a
stickers.
sparkly bee.
Sparkly. Yeah.
Anyway, um, yes. Okay, what was I talking about?
We were talking about affirmations and
Affirmations. Yeah. Oh, this is what really helps me too with moving stuff. I hate to move. I hate it more than anything in the whole wide world. Okay. Not more than anything, but almost. What the thing about moving is that what I told myself, how I got through that part of it was I told myself, okay, it's gonna suck for a minute. I'm just gonna get through it. But when this part is over, I can live out of boxes if I really need to for a minute. I can relax.
exactly.
You
So
know.
you lower your expectation of what it will be like, not in a bad way, in a
Right.
curious way, in a way that you
Yeah.
know you can handle it. In a
Initially, right.
initially, of course, then you set goals for your life later. But just to get out,
Yeah.
if you're out, you won.
Yes.
You know, you
And yes. And when you get there, you get to, if you do leave the place you're in, you get to redecorate everything. That's so
yes.
fun. Or actually decorate. But also, if the person leaves, one of the things I do when I do my little grief weekend things with some of my clients is I will have them, you know, when they feel like doing this. I never tell anybody to do anything they don't want to do, by the way. But when I do that, I tell them, you know, how about we redecorate the bedroom, or we, get rid of items that they own or whatever. So you could redecorate the whole house if you really want to. A project is always a good thing
Mm-hmm.
through a divorce or a breakup, period. Just is. Same thing for if you go no contact with a parent, it helps you to get a project. Ironically, I just realized that one of those projects brought us here to you today. Because one of the projects I did, I'd already had a blog going, but one of the projects I did in my personal blog was start to write about this topic. I had to go to the library. Nobody was talking about it back then except for a few people, and I didn't
Right.
totally believe them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Anyway, so you never know what can come of it. Anyway, all right. I have to wrap pretty soon here because I have to get on a call. So, Lise, do you have any other questions you need to pick up really quick? Or I saw one.
There was one, but Jack asked if we saw Kate S's question, but I don't. So
I saw one about Munchausen by proxy, how to handle it. And I will tell you this, if you are dealing with it yourself, I would think that you probably wouldn't be on this stream. But if you are the child of, like the adult child of a person with Munchausen's, that person had a mental illness. Certainly there would be narcissistic traits there. Maybe even narcissistic personality disorder, like comorbid. Munchausen by proxy is a very complicated and awful, disgusting thing that happens to people. I think that's something that I would like to, I do have some background understanding this, but it is not my specialty. I think I would like to do a little more research on that. I will say this, if you are the adult child of someone with Munchausen's, I did create a video about, what's her name? JC? JC something, Jaycee. I can't, Rose? Wait. I can't remember, but I think if you search mine, I'll just check, hold on.
I'll just talk while you're doing that. And then
yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. I have talked to people who have had narcissistic parents who have Munchausen, like, I mean, the traits, right? Or have had that in particular. And what it has created in the now adult child of that narcissistic person is a heck of a lot of anxiety, a lot of phobias, and a lot of need to control one's own body. And so I guess what I would say is if you're dealing with it and recovering from someone who has put all these ideas and beliefs in your head, that's a place to figure out what it is you need to work on and work on those things in therapy or coaching or on your own, whatever it is. It would help to have a little more info on the question. So that,
here's the video. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Okay.
Gypsy Rose, not JC Rose.
Gypsy Rose. Okay.
GYPSY. I don't know. Yeah, Rose. And here, video. And here's the link. I'm just popping it in the chat. So basically, I told a little bit about the story and explained, what happened there and gave a tiny bit of advice there. But I want to come back with a little bit more
topic.
Solid. Yeah, it's a big topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you deal with them? I mean, they should unfortunately be in treatment. What Gypsy Rose did was wrong, but I don't blame her, and I don't think you will either. Anyway, it's it's a whole long story. Anyway, okay. But if you are someone who has been,
spouses as well. That's right. Can also be a victim of that.
That's for. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. That's really
anyone who is
being cared for by another person.
Cared for or in a caring situation with.
Could be, yeah. For example, if you are, a husband and your wife is the one who always cooks dinner, or you are a wife and your husband always makes the coffee, they could poison you or even gaslight you into seeing a problem that isn't there.
Yeah.
Right. And how many times do they, really quick, do they tell us, like, you need help? I just can't. Anyway, it's a similar thing, is my point. They mentally Munchausen you in a way. They tell you you're sick if you're not sick, and then they explain to you why you're sick, and then you go to the psychologist and explain why you're sick, and they put you on psych drugs that you don't need, or whatever. That happened to me when I was a child. I just realized that was maybe I figured it was about being controlled more than that, but now I understand there's more to it though. Woo, okay. Moving right along. All right, Lisa, I would love, this has been a really great discussion. I would love to continue. However, unfortunately, I think you may have a client as well. Okay, well, anyway, we are going to run, but we will be back here next Tuesday around the same time. And Lisa, you will be live on your channel next when?
May today, otherwise it'll be tomorrow.
Right.
That's the hope.
Ellen, thank you.
Today, but it may be tomorrow. That's what I meant.
Okay,
so head over there, hit the subscribe over there.
And the bell notification.
Hit the bell notification, and then you'll get the notifications when it's playing. And
And you can also, I think Simran will be putting it in the chat right about now. Dial 3322 and text Lisa Live.
222, right?
322. Yeah, 23322.
Yeah, and then it's LISELIVE And,
all one word,
and I have not been sending notifications because I'm having a little computer issue that will be remedied today or tomorrow. So,
okay.
All
right. And the same for me.
I haven't been there, but yeah.
Yeah. And there's AngieLive as well if you want to be notified when I go live. And I usually, when I send out notifications for this stream, I send to both numbers, just so you know.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right. Ellen C., thank you so much for this lovely super chat. I am really grateful. Thank you. And I hope that you have just an amazing day. Actually, yeah, I might need to talk to you. I just remembered a topic we might cover in the future. Okay. For Ellen. I mean, not just Ellen, other people too. Ellen has an experience with this topic. Okay, we'll come back to that. Thank you, Ellen. I really appreciate you. Okay. Thank you to our moderators. Thank you to everyone who showed up and hung out with us today. We will see you guys next week, and I will be back probably today with some shorter videos, and then tomorrow with full length. All right. See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.